Chapter 4058. Dragon King of Dragon Palace, do you want us to do it ourselves, or are you going to kill yourself? When the Fire Phoenix King finished his sentence, all the experts and disciples in the surroundings turned to look at Wang Xian. Tian Yuan Fate Realm experts have given the order. The Dragon King of Dragon Palace is doomed. This might be a good choice for the Dragon Palace. Although the Dragon Palace is strong, there's still a huge gap between them and the two pinnacle races. Once the lair of the Dragon Palace is exposed in the future, or when the Cataclysm arrives, the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan will definitely annihilate the Dragon Palace. Not annihilating the Dragon Palace now is also giving them a chance. The experts from the pinnacle races looked at Wang Xian and his group and whispered to each other. Upon hearing the Fire Phoenix King, Wang Xian chuckled. If you want revenge, do it yourself. Tens of thousands of phoenixes have died in my hands. He looked at the Fire Phoenix King, smiled, and continued his sarcasm. Wang Xian didn't have a good impression of the Phoenix Clan. It wasn't just because of the hatred between them, but also because of the Divine Dragon Clan and the Phoenix Clan. If there was a chance, he wouldn't mind annihilating the Phoenix Clan. However, he didn't have the strength to do so. But now, the Dragon Palace wasn't something that the Phoenix Clan could bully. Courting death, puny Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Today, we'll chop off your head as a tribute to the disciples of the Phoenix Clan. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, all the experts and disciples were taken aback. Their faces were filled with shock. The eyes of the seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan erupted with flames of anger. He stared at Wang Xian, flapped his phoenix wings, and charged towards Wang Xian. How dare this Dragon King be so arrogant at this moment? Kill him. If not for Tian Yuan Fate Realm experts, all the disciples of the Dragon Palace would be dead and annihilated. How dare a puny Dragon Palace be so arrogant? The group of experts and disciples of the Phoenix Clan looked at Wang Xian and bellowed furiously. The eyes of the Radiant Angel King and the rest of the Angel Clan turned cold. They also flapped their 12 wings and held their archangel swords. The experts of the Phoenix Clan have made their move. This is a flaming phoenix, a universe ruler realm flaming phoenix. His strength is terrifying, and he should be an expert specially nurtured by the Phoenix Emperor. The sudden attack of the seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan had also startled all the experts and disciples in the surroundings. When they sensed the terrifying might, awe and respect appeared on their faces. They were the most powerful beings in the entire Nine Essences universe, apart from the good fortune of heaven's origin. Higher than the pinnacle universe ruler realm. When Wang Xian saw the fiery phoenix charging at him, his eyes were filled with coldness and disdain. In the blink of an eye, the fiery phoenix was 10,000 meters away from Wang Xian. His body exuded an extremely terrifying flame power. The power of the flames covered a large area. It was an AoE attack. He didn't just want to kill Wang Xian with this move, and he wanted to annihilate all the experts and disciples around Wang Xian. Wang Xian stared at him and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. With a wave of his arm, a sword of wind and thunder instantly condensed. The sword of wind and thunder exuded terrifying speed and instantly disappeared in front of him. In the next instant, the body of the seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan, who was flying towards Wang Xian, stiffened. His forward momentum instantly weakened. His pupils dilated gradually and were filled with disbelief and horror. However, it wasn't just the seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan. Behind them were the Fire Phoenix King, the Water Phoenix King, and the Golden Phoenix King. At this moment, all of them were trembling violently. There was a bloodstain on their necks. The terrifying power of wind and thunder had already entered their bodies, wiping out their vitality in an instant. In an instant, Wang Xian killed 4 of the most elite existences of the Phoenix Clan. However, at this moment, a phoenix egg was burning above the heads of the 3 Fire Phoenix Kings. The phoenix egg landed in the bodies of the Fire Phoenix King, Water Phoenix King, and Golden Phoenix King. They regained their vitality. Phoenix Emperor, save us. At this moment, the 3 Phoenix Kings widened their eyes, and their faces were filled with terror and shock as they roared. They hurriedly retreated to the back. Retreat! All Phoenix disciples, retreat! As they retreated, they roared frantically. They looked at Wang Xian in disbelief and shock. The sudden turn of events left everyone dumbfounded. What's going on? What's going on? At the side, all the experts and disciples of the Angel Clan were also dumbfounded. What's going on? An expert from the Phoenix Clan couldn't help but yell in a low voice. Bam! At this moment, the body of the seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan fell to the ground. This answered everyone. How is this possible? The seventh elder of the Phoenix Clan was killed in an instant. It's the Dragon King. It's the Dragon King. Shocked voices rang out. In the surrounding area, the rest of the experts and disciples were also looking at this scene in shock. Buzz buzz. Courting death. From afar, the Phoenix Emperor, who was standing on the branch of the Tree of Chaos, was shocked to see this. In fact, the moment Wang Xian made his move, they could sense this terrifying power. This power was definitely not something that a sovereign realm expert could produce. Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm. Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm. The Dragon Palace has Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm? The Heavenly Unity Sage was taken aback as he looked in the direction of the Dragon Palace with shock. He also moved and flew over in an instant. The Fairy Queen was also shocked as she flew over immediately. In front of the Dragon Palace, 8 Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm experts were staring at Wang Xian. How dare a piece of trash attack me? Seeing the Phoenix Emperor and the rest flying over, Wang Xian waved his arm and grabbed the corpse of the 7th elder of the Phoenix clan. His head and body had already been separated. Just nice, this phoenix head can be used as a decoration for the Dragon Palace. He looked at the head and said plainly, Buzz. When the Phoenix Emperor heard Wang Xian's words, his face darkened. He reached out with a phoenix claw. The phantom of the phoenix claw grabbed towards Wang Xian instantly. When the other 7 Heavenly Essence Creation Realm experts saw that, they frowned slightly and did not move. They also wanted to see if Wang Xian had the strength of a Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm expert. Chapter 4059. Phoenix Emperor, Phoenix's Passion Brothel. Wang Xian looked at the Phoenix Emperor's attack with a cold expression. He stretched out his palm and formed a dragon claw to meet the phoenix claw. Bam! A terrifying collision sound reverberated. The dissipating energy was blocked by Wang Xian and the Phoenix Emperor. What? The Dragon King of Dragon Palace has broken through to the creation realm of Sky Yuan? How is that possible? How long has it been? How can he break through so quickly? Creation realm of Sky Yuan. He blocked the attack of the Phoenix Emperor. The Dragon King of Dragon Palace is a creation realm of Sky Yuan. How can his speed of improvement be so terrifying? How is this possible? How long has the Dragon King of Dragon Palace been cultivating? Dumbfounded. At this moment, all the living beings in the Nine-Source universe were shocked to see Wang Xian block the attack of the Phoenix Emperor. Creation realm of Sky Yuan. The Dragon King of Dragon Palace had the strength of a creation realm of Sky Yuan. What? This made them feel extremely incredulous. How could it be so easy to break through to the creation realm of Sky Yuan? How long had the Dragon King of Dragon Palace cultivated to this level? Unbelievable. It's not creation realm of Sky Yuan. He has 7 attributes? No, it should be the power of 9 different attributes. He has completely fused the power of these 9 attributes together. The creation realm of Sky Yuan of the Black Tortoise tribe stared at Wang Xian and spoke suddenly. There was a tinge of shock in his voice. He could sense the 9 attributes in Wang Xian's body. These 9 attributes were fused together perfectly. This was unbelievable to him. The fusion of 2 attributes was already considered a mutation. There were not many people in the entire Nine-Source universe who could fuse 3 attributes together. In the past, only the 5 elements Divine Dragon of the Divine Dragon tribe had the most attributes. But now, the Dragon King of Dragon Palace had fused 9 attributes together. The strength of the 9 attributes stacked together allowed the Dragon King of Dragon Palace to go against the creation realm of Sky Yuan without reaching the creation realm of Sky Yuan. This defied their understanding. How did he fuse 9 attributes together? Well, in the past, when I met him, he only had 7 attributes. At that time, it was impossible for light, darkness, and the 5 elements to be fused together. At that time, he had the wind and lightning attribute, but wind and lightning are external objects. How did he manage to fuse 9 attributes together? Is it Shui Yun's doing? Shui Yun paved an unprecedented path to heaven for him? The City Empress was also looking at Wang Xian in shock. The fusion of the 9 attributes was too unbelievable for them. What? The Dragon Palace's Dragon King has 9 attributes. The Dragon King hasn't reached the creation of heaven's origin, but he's able to resist it? Is it because he has fused 9 elements? Attributes can be cultivated in the later stages, but with each additional attribute, the cultivation speed will be twice as difficult, and the improvement of combat power will be limited. The Dragon King actually has 9 attributes. How did he cultivate? When the surrounding disciples of the 9 Origins cosmos heard the words of the Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts, their faces were filled with shock. The expressions of the other Creation Realm experts changed as they stared at Wang Xian. When the Phoenix Emperor saw Wang Xian fending off his attack with ease, he knew that even though Wang Xian wasn't of the same realm as him, he was still able to defeat the Phoenix Emperor. However, the difference in their combat power wasn't too great. Heaven Origin and Fortune were both at this level of battle prowess. Even if he was stronger than him and could suppress him, it would be extremely difficult to destroy him. He didn't look too good. He had not expected the remnants of the divine dragon race to give birth to existences at the creation of Heaven Origin levels so quickly. Dragon King of Dragon Palace, do you think you don't have to pay a price for reaching this level of strength? The eyes of the Phoenix Emperor gradually turned cold as he swept a glance at the Emperor of Angels and continued coldly. The Phoenix race deserves to die. Wang Xian looked at the Phoenix Emperor and replied with a cold expression. His eyes scanned the surroundings and swept over the experts and disciples of the Phoenix clan coldly. Dragon King, do you think you can do whatever you want just because you have the combat power of the creation of Heaven Origin Realm and dare to offend the Phoenix race and the Angel race? Do you know that experts at the creation of Heaven Origin Realm can also fall? The Emperor of Angels stared at Wang Xian, squinted his eyes and asked coldly. He, Emperor of Angels, do you think I won't dare to kill the disciples of the Angel race just because they offended the Dragon Palace? Wang Xian stared at the Emperor of Angels and replied coldly, you also know that creation of Heaven Origin Realm can fall? Crazy. How dare a brat who just reached the creation of Heaven Origin Realm be so arrogant? My Phoenix's passion brothel has been through 2 eons, but this is the first time I've seen such an arrogant guy. Upon hearing Wang Xian, the Emperor of Phoenixes laughed maniacally. Suddenly, a red cloud appeared above him. The red cloud contained horrifying might. He stared at Wang Xian with murderous intent. Indeed, he's a little arrogant and impudent. The Emperor of Angels said coldly. With a wave of his arm, a grayish huge sword appeared in his hand. There were 12 wings on his back. The luster on them started to shine. He stared at Wang Xian calmly but was ready to launch a fatal attack at any time. At the side, the other 7 creation of Heaven Origin Realm experts from the 9-source universe frowned when they saw this. Calm down, the 3 of you. As experts from the 9-source universe, the cataclysm is coming. We're on the same side. The Heavenly Fusion Sage extended his hand and spoke to them. He wanted to reconcile. It's a good thing for us to have another creation of Heaven Origin Realm expert in the 9-source universe. Let's not fight among ourselves. Let's work together against a common enemy. The middle-aged creation of Heaven Origin Realm expert from the royal family said. Yes, there's no need to fight. Emperor of Phoenixes, Emperor of Angels, it'll be very difficult for you to get rid of the Dragon King. To put it bluntly, even if you can get rid of him, the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan will suffer great losses. This isn't an irreconcilable grudge. Let's shake hands and make peace. The creation of heaven origin of the Nether clan agreed. When the Emperor of Phoenixes and the Emperor of Angels heard the creation of heaven origin realm experts, they frowned slightly. What the other creation of heaven origin realm experts said was the truth. The Emperor of Phoenixes and the Emperor of Angels were confident that they could kill the Dragon King now. However, the Dragon King definitely had a treasure that could revive him. What if he came back to life and hunted the disciples of the Angel clan and the Phoenix clan? They didn't have much confidence that they could destroy it with 100% certainty. However, they weren't willing to let it go just like that. Chapter 4060. The disciples of our two races can't just die like this. The Phoenix Emperor stared at Wang Xian coldly and said, "Dragon Palace, you must pay the price. Everyone, the one who died wasn't your race's disciple. The Dragon King is strong, but he isn't strong enough to let the Phoenix race forget about this." As the Phoenix Emperor spoke, he swept his gaze across the other creation realm experts. "We can't just let this slide. Someone has to pay the price for the death of our disciples," the Angel Emperor said with a cold expression. The other 6 heaven origin creation realm powerhouses frowned slightly when they heard their words. "In that case, Dragon King, you should take out some compensation. The Phoenix race and the Angel race are much stronger than you guys. If this continues, it won't do the Dragon Palace any good. Take out some treasures as compensation to end this feud. In the future, we'll face the cataclysm together." The Heavenly Fusion Sage looked at Wang Xian and said, "Heavenly Fusion Sage, it's not that easy to end a feud. If not for the betrayal of the Angel race, the Divine Dragon race wouldn't have been annihilated." Wang Xian's face turned cold when he heard the words of the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor. He looked at the Heavenly Fusion Sage, who wanted to resolve this feud, and said plainly. His words caused all the experts and disciples of the Peak clans around him to be slightly shocked when they heard it. The eyes of the creation realm experts flickered. "Dragon King of Dragon Palace, do you know what you're talking about?" When the Phoenix Emperor heard Wang Xian, a terrifying murderous intent bloomed in his eyes. A terrifying aura surged towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian sneered. He stared at the Phoenix Emperor and squinted his eyes. "Phoenix Emperor, let me tell you clearly. The feud with the Angel race can be settled, but the feud between the Phoenix race and the Divine Dragon race can't be settled. You know what the Phoenix race has done." "I'm well aware of what my Phoenixes have done." "What? Do you want to exterminate my Phoenixes? Because of the other heaven origin good fortune transcendence, I could let you off the hook for the greater good of the 9 essences cosmos. But now you want to push your luck? Do you really think I wouldn't dare to kill you?" The aura on the Phoenix Emperor's body began to climb. The power that belonged to the heavenly primordial creations surged in all directions. The expressions of the experts and disciples below the creation realm changed drastically when they sensed this. Their faces were extremely pale. Those at the venerable realm were trembling in fear and kept retreating. And this was under the circumstance that the other Tianyuan Fortune Realm cultivators' auras were slightly affected. At the side, the Emperor of Angels stared at this scene. His eyes flickered slightly, and a thoughtful look appeared on his face. The current situation clearly involved the extinction of the Divine Dragon race. It was obvious that there was an inside story. Now, the Dragon Palace had the fortune of heaven. If they, the Angel race, participated, they would not obtain any benefits. "Dragon King, give me a satisfactory answer if you wish to resolve the feud between you and the Angels." The Emperor of Angels stared at Wang Xian and said coldly, "If I'm not satisfied with this result, you'll bear the consequences yourself. Everyone in the 9 essences universe knows about the matter between your angel folk and the Dragon Palace. Your angel folk were courting death. Let's put an end to our enmity. That's my answer." Upon hearing the Emperor of Angels, Wang Xian replied directly. As soon as he finished his sentence, the Emperor of Angels' face darkened instantly. What did he mean? Was letting the matter rest as a response to the angel folk? That was simply too arrogant. He was belittling the angel folk. His eyes were filled with coldness and fury. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, The other 6 Creation Realm experts opened their mouths slightly and were shocked. What the heck? What did that mean? Although the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace had reached the Creation Realm of Heaven. However, the Angel Clan and the Phoenix Clan had 2 Heaven Origin Fortune Realm experts. Moreover, they were all experienced heavenly primordial fortune cultivators. If they really fought, the possibility of annihilating the Dragon Palace was still very high. Initially, a matter that could be resolved with some compensation of resources. Now, they had to choose to fight head-on with the 2 pinnacle races? This Dragon King is so domineering. Isn't this too domineering? The Dragon King is so arrogant that he doesn't care about any Creation Realm experts at all. Is the Dragon King going to declare war on the Angel race and the Phoenix race? All the experts and disciples in the surroundings were filled with shock when they saw this scene. This Dragon King was simply too arrogant. He was simply too ferocious. Was he going to declare war directly? Great. It's been a long time since I've been active. Let's have a great battle next. The Angel Emperor smiled coldly. His hands gradually tightened around the angelic sword in his hands. The angelic sword radiated brilliance. Around him, the shadows of angels flickered. You're really courting death. No one can stop you. The Phoenix Emperor stared at Wang Xian with murderous intent as he flapped his wings slightly. The red clouds above his head seemed to be brewing a terrifying might. Everyone, we have given him a choice. He chose death. If we don't fulfill his wish, he will think that the Phoenix race and the Angel race are afraid of him. Today, in this 9-source universe, as long as the Dragon Palace exists, there will be no more of us. Back off. The Phoenix Emperor's gaze swept across the 6 Divine Essence Creation Realm experts as he spoke coldly. Heavenly Unity Saint, the Siddhi Queen and the rest frowned at this scene. Dragon King, there's no need for that. The Siddhi Queen looked at Wang Xian, sighed and spoke. The current situation was clearly disadvantageous to the Dragon Palace. She did not understand why Wang Xian still had to intervene. In the beginning, they could still mediate, but at this stage, they had a way out, but Wang Xian had destroyed it. In this case, they could no longer persuade the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor. All the surrounding experts and disciples of the 9-source universe were also watching this scene intently. Senior Siddhi Queen, everyone in the 9-source universe knows the cause of the feud between the Dragon Palace and the Phoenix race and the Angel race. So what if they are 2 pinnacle races? Wang Xian looked at the Siddhi Queen and spoke. So what if they are 2 pinnacle races? So what if they are 2 Creation Realm experts? Why should the Dragon Palace be afraid? Just as Wang Xian finished his words, behind him, Qilin Bull flew over slowly. He flew to a position 1 step behind Wang Xian. Boom! With a shake of his body, he transformed into his own body. At the same time, the aura of the Creation Realm experts charged towards the Angel Emperor and the Phoenix Emperor. Chapter 4061, Roar. When the Qilin Bull returned to its original form, it let out a low roar. Hua hua hua. In the surroundings, the leaves of the Chaos Tree rustled. Our Dragon King joined hands with someone in the Sword and Magic universe and killed one of them. Why would we be afraid of the 2 of you? Why would we be afraid of the 2 of you? Why would we be afraid of the 2 of you? The Qilin Bull stared at them and said with an eerie expression. Now that he had come to the 9 Essences cosmos, he had gained a detailed understanding of the forces in the 9 Essences cosmos. Now, the Dragon Palace had the Dragon King and him, 2 existences at the creation level. Why would they be afraid of the other peak races? Ridiculous. None of the other peak-level races had 2 divine essences. The Dragon Palace had 2 of them. Would they be afraid of them? Even though they were both veteran divine primordial creations, in a 2-on-1 situation, even if they couldn't win, they could still escape. Once they took revenge in the future, they were 100% confident that they could annihilate their entire race. However, at this moment, the Qilin Bull's voice rang out. When he flew over to display his might. In front of them, the pupils of the Angel Sovereign and the Phoenix Sovereign shrank slightly, and a look of shock appeared on their faces. The other 6 divine origin creation realm experts were also shocked as they stared at the Qilin bull. Heavenly origin fortune, another heavenly origin fortune. The heaven fusion saint glared at the Qilin and roared with a deep voice. He found it hard to believe. The Dragon Palace actually had 2 existences at the divine essence creation realm. There were 2 of them. No, that's not right. You don't have water-type power. You're not from the 9 Essences universe. The Black Tortoise Clan's divine essence creation realm experts stared at the Qilin bull and shouted, I, Lin Yo, am a creature of the sword and sorcery universe. Boss Dragon King is my benefactor. I am your mount and a disciple of the Dragon Palace. Anyone who goes against the Dragon Palace will be my, Lin Yu's, enemy. The Qilin bull didn't hide anything and replied coldly. Sword and magic universe? Well, the 8 divine Yuan creation realm experts were dumbfounded when they heard that. A heavenly primordial creation level mount? A creation realm cultivator of Tian Yuan publicly announced that he was the Dragon King's mount? What? This caused them to feel shocked and incredulous. An existence of this level was actually willing to be the Dragon King's mount. How did the Dragon King do it? Hiss, the Dragon Palace actually has another existence at the Heavenly Yuan Fate level. The Dragon Palace actually has another one, and it's the Dragon King's mount. Is this the trump card of the Dragon Palace? In just a few 100 million years, the Dragon Palace actually has 2 such terrifying existences. That's way too heaven-defying. Even at the peak of the Divine Dragon Tribe, there weren't even 2 heavenly origin creation level existences. No wonder the Dragon King isn't afraid of the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan. Even if they really fight, so what? 2 heavenly primordial fortunes, 2 supreme existences of one race. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings were shocked. This matter was too sensational. They were all dumbfounded. The disciples of the Angel Clan and the Phoenix Clan were also dumbfounded. In their eyes, the Dragon Palace was like a rat hiding in a corner, not daring to face them directly. The Dragon Palace, which they could easily destroy, actually had 2 existences of heavenly primordial fortune. In that case, if the pinnacle races fought the Dragon Palace alone, even if their emperor was a veteran heavenly Yuan Fate level, but they still might not be a match for the Dragon Palace. If they really fought, they might suffer heavy casualties. The birth of a heavenly Yuan Fate level was too difficult. Although there were differences in strength between heavenly Yuan Fate level existences, the advantage in numbers was equally terrifying. In the past, there had never been a pinnacle race that had 2 heavenly Yuan Fate level existences. How could this not be shocking? When the Angel Emperor saw the appearance of the Qilin bull and felt its power, his expression darkened and his face became extremely solemn. At this moment, he saw the 2 heavenly Yuan Fate level existences of the Dragon Palace. He wanted to curse out loud. 2. In the entire 9 Origins universe, there were only 9 heavenly Yuan Fate level existences in the past. 1 attribute and 1 heavenly Yuan Fate level. In the end, the Dragon Palace's Dragon King had the strength of a heavenly Yuan Fate level. The Dragon Palace had another heavenly Yuan Fate level existence. And it was the Dragon King's mount. A heavenly Yuan Fate level mount? Was this a joke? To them, this was simply too surprising and shocking. There was no record of 10 heavenly Yuan Fate level experts in the 9 Origins universe. How could he not be shocked when it suddenly appeared? Now, he also understood why the Dragon Palace had such confidence. Why the Dragon Palace dared to directly confront the 2 pinnacle races. This was the Dragon Palace's trump card. The biggest trump card. Moreover, according to the Qilin Bull, the Dragon King had once joined forces with other heavenly Yuan Fate level existences in another universe and killed a heavenly Yuan Fate level existence. In that case, his true combat power was definitely not weak. His experience would not be too bad either. Phew. He took a deep breath and his mind raced. Forget it, Dragon King. If you fight with the Phoenix race and the Angel race, both sides will suffer heavy losses and there will be no clear outcome. The Siddhi Empress's eyes flickered as she glanced at the Angel Emperor and the Phoenix Emperor and spoke again. Now, the stares had appeared again. If the Dragon King was the only one in the Dragon Palace, the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor might have been able to kill the Dragon King. But now, forget about it. The Dragon Palace had two Heavenly Yuan Fate-level existences. In terms of overall strength, it had already surpassed a single pinnacle race. Under such circumstances, it was not a wise choice to make an enemy of the Dragon Palace. This was because the Phoenix race and the Angel race were two pinnacle races after all. And the Dragon Palace was one. The Dragon King was the king. The Phoenix race and the Angel race could not achieve this. Yeah, forget it. First of all, congratulations to the Dragon King for having two Heavenly Yuan Fate-level experts in the Dragon Palace. This is also a blessing for the nine-source universe. Angel Emperor, I've looked into the grudge between the Dragon Palace and the Dragon Palace. It was indeed the Angel race who made the first move. The Dragon Palace was also forced to hide outside for hundreds of millions of years. Now that the Dragon King has said to let it go, let it go. Phoenix Emperor, let it go as well. Don't even think about killing each other. There's no need to sacrifice 1,000 to injure 800. The Heavenly Unity Sage played the good guy again and began to persuade. Wang Xian did not refute his words. He also knew that it was impossible to destroy the Phoenix race and the Angel race today. Wanting to destroy them was just too difficult. Unless the Dragon Palace had 6 Heavenly Yuan Fate-level experts. But having 6 Heavenly Yuan Fate-level experts was just a slim chance. The Angel Emperor and the Phoenix Emperor were, after all, veteran Heavenly Yuan Fate-level experts. Chapter 4062. The Heavenly Fusion Sage's words gave everyone a way out, including the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor. The Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor floated in the air, their expressions changing constantly. The situation in front of them was something they could never have imagined. They had never expected a small dragon palace to have 2 creation realm experts. Huff huff. The Angel Emperor took a deep breath as his eyes flickered. If the dispute between your Dragon Palace and my Angel Clan is because of my Angel Clan, then this matter shall be dropped. He took the lead and spoke to Wang Xian. He wanted to understand the feud between the Angel Tribe and the Dragon Palace during this period. However, as the Emperor of the Angel Tribe, even if the Angel Tribe was in the wrong, the pinnacle sovereign realm disciple of the tribe had been killed. There was no right or wrong in this matter. Only the strong and the weak. Now, the Dragon Palace was stronger than the Angel Tribe. In that case, he could let this matter rest. In any case, he already had a way out of this embarrassing situation. Hee. Upon hearing the Angel Emperor, Wang Xian smiled faintly and did not say a word. He stared at the Phoenix Emperor with a cold gleam in his eyes. It was a pity that he could not kill the Phoenix Emperor this time. After settling the grudge with the Angel Clan, the Dragon Palace needed to have 4 Divine Essence Creation Realm experts in order to eliminate the Phoenix Emperor and the Phoenix Clan with 100% certainty. Of course, if Wang Xian could improve further, it might be possible. Do you want to give it a try? Wang Xian stared at the Phoenix Emperor and said coldly, "The Angel Emperor has given up on the fight with the Dragon Palace. In other words, the Angel Tribe will bear the losses they suffered in the past. The Dragon Palace is too strong. At this time, which pinnacle race would be willing to go against the Dragon Palace? Now that the Divine Dragon Tribe has returned to the peak because of the Dragon Palace and has 2 creation realm experts, those pinnacle races that are on good terms with the Dragon Palace will probably lean towards the Dragon Palace. Obviously, they can't afford to fight this battle. Both parties are about the same in strength. However, the Dragon Palace is stronger. The Dragon King is too invincible. Even the creation realm experts have become his mount. The Dragon King is provoking the Phoenix Emperor. When the surrounding experts and disciples of the 9 Essences Cosmos saw this scene, they began to discuss among themselves in shock. Their eyes flashed. Upon hearing Wang Xian's provocation, the Phoenix Emperor's face darkened immediately. His gaze swept across Qilin Bull and Wang Xian, and his expression changed drastically. He hesitated whether he should make a move or not. However, once he made a move, unless he could fight against 2 opponents at once, it wouldn't be good for the Phoenix Clan if he was suppressed. I truly did not expect the divine dragon race to rise up so quickly. Good. The Phoenix Emperor stared at Wang Xian coldly and gritted his teeth. The cataclysm is coming. We'll settle the matters between us after the cataclysm. He did not give in. He also knew that the enmity between the Phoenix clan and the Divine Dragon clan could no longer be resolved. Just from Wang Xian's words, he could tell. The Dragon Palace might take revenge on the Phoenix clan in the future. The possibility of this was very high. However, his opponent was too strong, so he could only retreat temporarily. I will. When Wang Xian heard him, he sneered. For the sake of the cataclysm, for the sake of the Nine Essences universe, let me thank you on behalf of the Nine Essences universe. The Heavenly Fusion Sage spoke again, acting like a good guy. I've long heard of the Heavenly Fusion Sage's name. Wang Xian looked at the Heavenly Fusion Sage, the first divine origin creation realm expert he had heard of since he came to the chaotic continent. He cupped his fists with a smile. Dragon King, you flatter me. The Dragon Palace's rapid development is really amazing. The Heavenly Fusion Sage smiled as he looked at all the disciples around him. All right, now that all the disciples of the Supremacy Realm and above are here in the Nine Essences universe, there's one more thing to announce. The Heavenly Fusion Sage spoke again as his gaze fell on some water attribute experts. The cataclysm will arrive in 5 billion years. After the cataclysm, the Nine Essences universe will become one. We want revenge, and the Nine Essences universe will not be invaded. Once there are invaders, all disciples and all living beings must join the battle and fight against the enemies together. The Divine Origin Creation Realm experts are no exception. This is the rule of the Nine Essences universe. If any expert or disciple dares to violate this rule, regardless of which elite race or expert they are, they will be killed together. As long as the safety of the Nine Essences universe is guaranteed, there will be no restrictions on other matters. The Heavenly Fusion Sage said, the Cataclysm War was a war between universes. It was an extremely cruel war between homelands. Therefore, even though the Nine Essences universe was not very harmonious at the moment, and many experts and disciples were mortal enemies. But during this period of time, all living beings had to unite. Even the elite races. Even the Divine Origin Creation Realm experts. The Divine Origin Creation Realm experts had already set the rules. Even if a Divine Origin Creation Realm expert violated the rules, he or she would be surrounded and killed by other Divine Origin Creation Realm experts. Until he or she was completely annihilated. There's one more thing. The Heavenly Fusion Sage continued. The second thing is about the Divine Origin Creation Realm experts. As he spoke, he looked at Wang Xian and continued. Lord Shui Yun of the Divine Dragon Tribe has fallen. Our Nine Essences universe has an additional Divine Origin Creation Realm expert, a Water Attribute Divine Origin Creation Realm expert. All Water Attribute disciples have a chance to fight for this spot. Moreover, we hope that before the cataclysm arrives, our Nine Essences universe will have another Water Attribute Divine Origin Creation Realm expert. We will nurture disciples with potential. In other words, the few of us Divine Origin Creation Realm experts will guide disciples with potential and help them break through to the Divine Origin Creation Realm. Dragon King, do you have any objections to this? At the end of his speech, the Heavenly Fusion Sage asked for Wang Xian's opinion. I have no objections. Wang Xian nodded his head. This spot had once been vacated by the Divine Dragon Tribe. Naturally, Wang Xian wanted this spot. However, it was too difficult for the Water Attribute disciples of the Dragon Palace to break through to the Divine Origin Creation Realm. Currently, the strongest person in the Dragon Palace, the Water Divine Dragon, Shui Linglong's father, was only a sixth-order universe sovereign. It was difficult to break through to the Divine Origin Creation Realm in over 2 billion years. In addition, before Senior Shui Yun died, he poured all his efforts into the Invincible Divine Dragon system. He did not leave behind any special legacy. Chapter 4063. It was very difficult for the Dragon Palace to get a slot for the Water Elemental Nature Essence creation. Most likely, it would be obtained by the water-type experts of other peak races. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings and fixed his eyes on a few figures. His gaze lingered on the body of the Phoenix clan's Water Phoenix King for a moment. If he had known earlier, he would have destroyed the Water Phoenix King once more. He thought to himself. The Heaven Integration Sage's words caused all the peak water element sovereign realm experts to reveal excited expressions. Their eyes were burning with passion. This was an opportunity. This was their chance to break through to the creation of divine essence. In the 9 essences cosmos, the number of heavenly origin good fortune spots was limited. Apart from the unusual Dragon King, there were only 9 slots. These 9 slots corresponded to the 9 elements, and now, there was only 1 slot for the water element. Moreover, the Heaven Fusion Sage had also said that the group of Heaven Origin Fortune Creations would try their best to have 1 more Heaven Origin Fortune Creations in the 9 Origins cosmos before the Cataclysm arrived. We will do our best to nurture them. To them, this was an incomparably great opportunity. A chance to ascend to the heavens in a single bound, a chance to live forever. All water attribute disciples will have this opportunity. For the sake of fairness, we will give all of you 500 million years. After 500 million years, we will select the 3 strongest disciples who are closest to the heavenly origin fortune, and they will be trained together. When the time comes, it will depend on your luck and fate. The Heaven Fusion Sage continued. Thank you, my lords. The group of water attribute disciples immediately thanked him loudly. All right, time to cultivate. The Heaven Fusion Sage waved his hand and the group of disciples hurriedly retreated. Everyone, let's move out as well. Good luck. If you find any treasures that you can't handle, you can come find me. Seeing that everything was over, Tian Yuan, fate of the undead race, swept his gaze across Wang Xian and the rest and remarked with a smile. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure flashed and vanished. Hee, good luck to all of you. Dragon King, I'm going to look for treasures now. Let's have a sparring session when we're free. The old man from the Black Tortoise clan said to Wang Xian before flying off. In the surrounding area, the Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts also left directly. Looking for treasures? Seeing them leaving one by one, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows. The City Empress did not leave immediately. There are all sorts of treasures in the chaos, especially around the chaos tree. There are almost 100% treasures. Seeing Wang Xian's puzzled expression, the City Queen explained with a smile. Senior Fairy Empress, there are many things that I do not understand. Could you enlighten me? Wang Xian looked at the City Queen, cupped his fists and asked humbly. Now, Wang Xian did not have the slightest understanding of the creation realm of Sky Yuan. Although Qilin Bull had broken through, he did not obtain Aga Skyfian Celestial's memories. Therefore, he did not know the subdivisions of the creation realm. As for the 9 essences universe, they only had 2 heaven origin manifestation experts. Since the outbreak of the cataclysm, they had been defending against external enemies, so they were even less knowledgeable. However, the fortune of heaven's origin in the 9 essences universe should have a very good understanding of this. After all, the 9 essences universe was much stronger than the sword and magic universe. No problem. The City Empress nodded and gestured to him. They moved and immediately flew towards a branch in the distance. Qilin Bull followed behind Wang Xian quietly. All disciples of Dragon Palace, find a place to cultivate. Seeing that the Dragon King had left, Prime Minister Turtle instructed all the disciples. Yes. The disciples of Dragon Palace were also filled with excitement. The scene just now made the Dragon Palace feel proud and elated. In the future in the 9 essences universe, no expert or disciple of any pinnacle race would dare to belittle the Dragon Palace. They would no longer have to hide in a remote place. With 2 heaven origin manifestation experts in the Dragon Palace, they were not afraid of any pinnacle race. They were not afraid of any living beings. The Dragon Palace has completely risen this time. No one will dare to provoke them in the future. 2 Sky Origin Fortune Realm experts, especially the Dragon King. His rate of improvement is too terrifying. This time is too short. Now that he has a Sky Origin Fortune Realm mount, his overall strength should be at the top among the group of lords, right? The main reason is that the two Heaven Origin Manifestation experts are too flexible. One will distract others, while the other will launch sneak attacks. Who can withstand that? The Emperor of Angels is a veteran Heaven Origin Manifestation expert, and his strength is definitely higher than the Dragon King's. However, he did not dare to provoke the Dragon Palace because the Dragon King and his mount can fight independently. One can distract the Emperor of Angels, while the other can attack the disciples of the Angel tribe. Even the Emperor of Angels is afraid. Yes, the Dragon Palace has made history with two Heaven Origin Manifestation experts. They are too strong. We have to be more polite to the disciples of the Dragon Palace in the future. The few lords want to nurture a water attribute Heaven Origin Manifestation expert. I wonder which expert will be lucky enough to do so. Within the Tree of Chaos, the living beings of the Nine Essences universe did not start cultivating immediately. Instead, they were discussing in shock. They were discussing the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King. They were discussing the Qilin Bull. They were also discussing who would become the new Heaven Origin Manifestation expert with the water attribute. Senior City Queen, I have a few questions. Is there any differentiation in the strength of a Heaven Origin Manifestation expert at this realm? Wang Xian did not care about the discussions of the disciples of the Nine Essences universe. He and the City Queen came to a distant branch of the Tree of Chaos and asked. Of course, there is a Heaven Origin Manifestation realm. The City Queen smiled and nodded her head. Let me tell you what I know. There are very few experts in the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm. There are only a few in each universe. However, with so many universes, the number of experts in the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm is not considered low. However, the differentiation of realms is not very clear. The Heaven Origin Manifestation realm is divided into Elementary Stage, Control Stage, Great Tao Realm, and Chaos Stage. At present, there are only these four classifications. They are based on strength. If one can easily kill an expert who has just entered the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm in a one-on-one fight, he can be considered a Control Stage expert. If one can easily kill an expert of the Control Stage in a one-on-one fight, he can be considered a Great Tao Realm expert. If one can easily kill an expert of the Great Tao Realm expert, he can be considered a Chaos Stage expert. The City Queen introduced in detail. Upon hearing her introduction, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. In other words, three experts who had just entered the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm could join forces to fight against an existence of the Control Stage expert? The difference in strength in this realm was not huge. 9 experts who had just entered the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm could fight against a Great Tao Realm expert. 27 experts who had just entered the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm could fight against a Chaos Stage expert. Senior, what are the realms of the Heaven Origin Manifestation realm experts in our Nine Essences universe? Wang Xian could not help but ask out of curiosity. Chapter 4064. The Nine Essences universe was a powerful universe. His strength far surpassed the Sword and Magic universe. Moreover, there were many old peak races in the Nine Essences universe, and some of them had even survived several eons. Sword and Magic universes flowing blue and hopeless sky were definitely at the initial stage of sky origin creation. As for the Nine Essences universe, it was uncertain. In our Nine Essences cosmos, the most powerful being is the fallen Shadow Fiend Emperor of the Fiend race. He's the most powerful being in our Nine Essences cosmos, having already reached the level of a Great Tao. Said the City Queen. Wang Xian was slightly surprised by the City Empress words. He had never imagined that the strongest race in Heaven's origin would be the demon race. The Fiend Devils kept a low profile in the Nine Essences universe. Just now, when they were having a dispute, this fallen Shadow Demon Emperor was also among them, but he didn't speak. Yes, the evil falling Shadow Fiend Monarch is the strongest. What you saw just now was a clone of his. His clone has just entered the Heaven Origin Creation realm. As for his main body, He's probably cultivating in the primal chaos in search of treasures. Apart from the fallen Shadow Devil Emperor, there are 3 other control-level existences, and I'm one of them. There's also the Nether Clan's Heaven's Origin Creation and the Black Tortoise clans. The rest are all at the beginner level. However, there are strong and weak ones at the beginner level. At the Great Path level, it doesn't mean that they can kill beginner-level creation of Heaven Origin with 100% certainty. Some beginner-level creation of Heaven Origin can fight 1 against 2 at the same level. This is a veteran Heavenly Origin fortune. This kind of veteran Heavenly Origin fortune can only be destroyed by veteran Great Tao experts. In short, the gap between the Heavenly Origin fortune is not like the Sovereign Realm, where 1 realm higher can easily kill someone 1 realm lower than oneself. For example, the Phoenix Emperor and the Angel Emperor are both veterans who have just entered the creation stage of Heavenly Origin. They are able to resist and escape even when fighting 1 against 2. Of course, this is my understanding of them in the past. I don't know if they have improved now, but I'm sure they haven't reached the level of control. The Sidhe Queen explained in detail to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head. A 9 essences universe was already extremely powerful. There was even one at the Great Tao level. There were also 3 control level ones. One had to know that a Great Tao realm cultivator could easily fight against 9 cultivators who had just entered the Great Tao realm. In other words, if the 9 essences universe wanted to destroy the sword and magic universe, it would be a piece of cake. With their strength, they could easily occupy other universes after the cataclysm began and obtain some of the spots to break through. For example, the 9 essences universe had 9 different types of Heavenly Origin good fortune. In that case, once all 9 Heaven Origin good fortune locations were occupied, the disciples of the 9 essences universe could go to other universes to make breakthroughs. Of course, it did not mean that every universe had 9 slots. For example, even disciples from the 9 essences universes and the Faith universe wouldn't be able to reach the fortune of Heaven Origin level. That was because the cultivation system was different, and that universe did not have the attributes of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Even so, it did not support the breakthroughs of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth attribute experts. Once the cataclysm breaks out, it will be a disaster for the weaker universes. Thank you for informing me, Sidhe Empress. Wang Xian thanked the Sidhe Queen. He, you don't have to thank me. It's really beyond my expectations that you could make it this far. With the 9 attributes integrated into one, you already have the power of Heavenly Origin good fortune before you reach the fortune of Heaven Origin good fortune. This is enough for you to protect yourself. It's enough for the Dragon Palace to have a foothold in the entire 9 essences universe. The Sidhe Queen smiled and shook her head. She then said, "All right, I'm going to take a look at the chaos around the Tree of Chaos and see if I can find any treasures." There are usually treasures in the places where the Tree of Chaos appears. You can also search there. However, you have to be careful. The chaos isn't what you think it is. There's only deathly stillness and some dangerous environments. For example, some terrifying chaos storms can cause the fortune of Heaven Origin good fortune to fall. The Sidhe Queen reminded him. "Thank you for your reminder, Sidhe Queen. I'll be careful." Wang Xian nodded his head. "All right." The Sidhe Queen nodded her head. Suddenly she looked at Wang Xian and said, "In our 9-source universe, the sorcerer tribe is very special. When the 12 grand sorcerers unite, their strength is extremely terrifying. When they set up the heavenly cycle array, they can go against the fortune of Heaven Origin good fortune of the control level. Their bodies are special, and their lifespan is longer than those below the fortune of Heaven Origin good fortune. You have to be careful of the sorcerer tribe. It's best not to provoke them. Their attacks are very strange. Also, don't provoke the Heavenly Fusion Sage in the 9-source universe. The Heavenly Fusion Sage has obtained the recognition of the universe AI. This is a terrifying treasure of the fortune of Heaven Origin good fortune. Although it's supportive and has almost no destructive power, the Heavenly Fusion Sage can use the universe AI. In the 9-source universe, those at the control level can't do anything to him. However, the heavenly fusion sage isn't bad. He cares about the living beings in the nine-source universe, and he's fair and considerate. After the Sidhe Queen finished her 2 points, she left immediately. Wang Xian was shocked when he heard the last 2 pieces of information. The sorcerer tribe? The combined forces of the 12 sorcerers were actually that terrifying? To be able to receive such high praise from the Sidhe Queen. There was also the heavenly fusion sage. The sage's bloodline was only established after the last cultivation calamity. The heavenly fusion sage only broke through after the cultivation calamity. With the help of the universe AI, his strength had increased tremendously. A fortune of heaven origin good fortune weapon is indeed powerful. Wang Xian exclaimed. The universe AI was the only fortune of heaven origin good fortune that was publicized in the nine-source universe. Wang Xian had not expected the heavenly fusion sage to be able to control it. It was rumored that this fortune of heaven origin good fortune was controlled by a group of fortune of heaven origin experts. Clearly, there were some discrepancies. After listening to the Sidhe Queen's explanation, Wang Xian had a thorough understanding of the nine-source universe. At present, although the Dragon Palace had 2 fortune of heaven origin good fortune, they were still not the strongest. Not to mention the great Tao level fallen shadow evil emperor. The Black Tortoise race's fortune of heaven origin, the Sidhe Queen's fortune of heaven origin, and the Nether race's fortune of heaven origin could fight against Wang Xian and Qilin Bull. As Qilin Bull had obtained the Aya Sky Demon God, he could be considered a veteran fortune of heaven origin good fortune. In short, if he and Qilin Bull joined forces, they could deal with those at the control level. Especially if they were to split up, their mobility and threat would be even higher. Even more terrifying. Chapter 4065. Next, let's see if I can improve my strength. After the Fairy Queen left, Wang Xian stood on the branch of the Tree of Chaos and pondered. It was extremely difficult for the Sky Yuan creation grade experts to improve their strength. Even after billions of years, their strength might not improve at all. But Wang Xian was different. His current realm was only at the 7th Order Universe Lord realm. There were no shackles for his current breakthrough as long as he had sufficient resources. As long as he had sufficient resources, he would be able to break through soon. He could be comparable to a control-level Sky Yuan creation grade expert or even a Great Tao grade expert. However, the amount of resources required for Wang Xian's breakthrough was just too much. So many that it was terrifying. The resources in the Dragon Palace could not satisfy his needs. He had to search for them himself. There will be treasures around the Tree of Chaos. I can search for them myself. As Wang Xian spoke, he scanned the surroundings. This was a vast forest with no end in sight. Every leaf was comparable to a continent. Standing here, Wang Xian's human form felt incomparably tiny. Tree of Chaos. He looked at the branch beneath him. With a thought, a branch of the progenitor tree appeared in his palm. The branch of the progenitor tree landed on the Tree of Chaos. But the Tree of Chaos did not react. Wang Xian did not sense any changes in the progenitor tree. I wonder what level this Tree of Chaos is at. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. After a while, he did not bother about the Tree of Chaos. He moved and flew out of the Tree of Chaos. Outside the Tree of Chaos, it was dead silent chaos. Within the chaos, there were still great horrors. Wang Xian had entered the chaos before. It was dead silent without any energy. Only existences at the heavenly primordial creation realm could travel in the chaos. Qilin Bull, let's go. Let's enter the chaos and see if we can find any treasures. Wang Xian said to Qilin Bull. Yes, Dragon King. The Qilin Bull nodded its head, flew under Wang Xian, and brought him into the chaos. After entering the chaos, they opened up a stream of energy. Everything around them was gray, as though the world had yet to be created. Wang Xian willed his mind and the energy spread out to explore the surroundings. The Qilin Bull also scanned its surroundings and flew straight towards a certain direction. They scanned their surroundings, but did not sense any presence. The entire space seemed to be dead silent, without any sound. It gave people a very oppressive feeling. There was no sound, no life, no light. He didn't even have a direction. They could only remember the route they took or sense the tree of chaos. Dragon King, this chaos world feels really scary. There isn't even any energy to absorb from the surroundings. The Qilin bull flew for more than 10 days, but they still could not sense anything. There was nothing at all. Everything was gray. A dusky aura. Yes, there are no living creatures, plants, or anything with life. Wang Xian nodded his head and continued to observe the surroundings. In such an environment, even if one was a heavenly primordial creation stage cultivator, they might go crazy if they roamed the primordial chaos for too long. It was too depressing. There was no sign of life. It was as if he was the only one in the world. Wang Xian chatted with the unicorn bull as they continued flying forward. Buzz buzz. After flying for another month, they suddenly heard some sounds. When Wang Xian heard the voice, his eyes narrowed. Dragon King, there's movement. Qilin bull also sensed it and said to Wang Xian, "Let's go over." Wang Xian nodded his head and instructed him. Qilin bull made a move and immediately flew towards the source of the sound. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. As they got closer, the sound got louder and louder. At the same time, it was accompanied by various types of energy that charged towards them. This is the power of lightning. Qilin bull sensed it and rushed over quickly as he spoke. When they got closer, a shocking scene appeared in front of them. In the chaos space in front of them, there were incomparably horrifying thunderbolts flashing continuously. Around this thunderbolt, a lightning space was formed. The thunderbolt tore open a brand new space. This scene seemed like the creation of a world. What's going on? When Wang Xian saw the shocking scene before him, he was also filled with astonishment. Dragon King, this scene should be very useful for the cultivation of the lightning attribute. These thunderbolts contain a unique charm and possess powerful attacks. Qilin bull stared ahead and spoke. Wang Xian looked and felt something. He stared at the thunderbolts ahead. However, he couldn't see anything. The advancement of a creation realm expert was entirely based on their understanding of the universe. Wang Xian wasn't at this realm. In fact, his true realm was only at the 7th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Therefore, he couldn't see anything from the thunderbolt before him. Wang Xian stared at the thunderbolt carefully. However, what shocked him was that as time passed, the thunderbolt was getting weaker and weaker. The space around the thunderbolt seemed to be compressed bit by bit. What's going on? Wang Xian looked at this scene. The thunderbolt couldn't break through the shackles of the chaos space? It couldn't be born successfully. If the thunderbolt was born successfully, what would happen? Would it be born as a powerful treasure? Or would this thunderbolt develop its own sentience? This was the first time Wang Xian ventured deep into the chaos space. He couldn't understand the scene before him at all. Dragon King, the thunderbolt is about to disappear. It's about to be obliterated by the chaos space. However, this thunderbolt is substantial. Can we keep it? Qilin bull suddenly spoke to Wang Xian. Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat. The energy contained in this thunderbolt far exceeded the pinnacle sovereign realm. A substantial thunderbolt wasn't an illusory thing. If there was no interference from the energy, it would gradually disappear into the chaos space. Completely integrate with the chaos space. However, what would happen if he kept it? Could it be treated as a powerful treasure? Could it be absorbed? Let's do it. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes. With a swift move, he flew towards the thunderbolt. Qilin bull also flew towards the thunderbolt without any hesitation. The thunderbolt was too huge. The area it covered was comparable to some small planets. However, the energy from Wang Xian and Qilin bull could envelop it completely. Wang Xian stretched out his palm and turned it into a humongous dragon claw. He wanted to hold the thunderbolt in his hand. Crackle! The thunderbolt sensed Wang Xian's attack. As though it had sentience, it attacked the dragon claw. Chapter 4066. The horrifying thunderbolt struck towards Wang Xian. The dazzling purple thunderbolt bombarded Wang Xian's dragon claw as though it was trying to break free from Wang Xian's grasp. Tisk! Wang Xian snorted softly when he saw this. He moved and instantly transformed into his divine dragon form. Its gigantic body coiled around the purple thunderbolt. Wang Xian let out a deep roar. Chains wrapped around the purple thunderbolt from his dragon horns. Walala! Countless chains wrapped around the entire thunderbolt. Crackle! Crackle! The horrifying thunderbolt tried to break free but was completely blocked by Wang Xian. Ka-ka-ka! Wang Xian extended his dragon claw again and clawed at the purple thunderbolt. The explosive thunderbolt was caught by him, and Wang Xian could feel the power of this thunderbolt. Material energy is born from the primal chaos and possesses terrifying destructive power. It's completely possible to refine it and use it as a treasure or absorb it. However, to absorb it, one might need to be extremely strong. At least at the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm. If one at this realm could absorb it, his combat power would be boosted tremendously. Wang Xian said as he felt the energy in the thunderbolt. It was a pity that this thunderbolt wasn't of much use to him. Boss, all the items that can be born from the primal chaos are all treasures. Qilin Bull said. They should be treasures. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. It was dead silent in the chaos. Anything that could be born here was a treasure. Moreover, they were powerful treasures. Just like the purple thunderbolt in Wang Xian's hand. Its preciousness was far beyond that of inborn cardinal treasures. This bolt of lightning shouldn't be considered a very precious treasure in the primal chaos. Wang Xian added. Although this purple thunderbolt was born, there was no energy in the chaos and it was dead silent. It would be worn down by the energy in the chaos. Judging from the situation just now, it wouldn't be able to withstand the wear down of the chaos. It wouldn't be long before it was completely obliterated. Based on Wang Xian's conjecture, items that could stand tall in the chaos were definitely extremely powerful existences. Take the Tree of Chaos for example. If the Tree of Chaos had the power to attack, it would definitely be an existence that could destroy the world. It could easily destroy a universe. Let's continue searching. According to the Sidhi Empress, there are treasures around the Tree of Chaos. Let's see if we can find some powerful treasures, said Wang Xian to the Qilin Bull as he flew straight ahead. It's Dragon King. The Qilin Bull nodded and followed at the side. Wang Xian and the rest were traveling at high speed in the chaos. However, no one knew how big the primal chaos was. In short, the primal chaos encompassed a large number of universes. The size of the primal chaos was not something the universe could compare to. Wang Xian and the rest continued flying. However, their luck wasn't as good. After flying for more than 10 years, Wang Xian and the rest did not sense the existence of any treasures. There was nothing out of the ordinary either. Everything was gray and hazy. Loneliness, desolation. They continued flying, and in the blink of an eye, they had flown for another 10,000 years. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. In the primal chaos, it was hard to keep track of time. On this day, the rumbling sound came again. After flying for more than 10,000 years, the eyes of Wang Xian and the rest were sparkling. Boss, there's movement on the right ahead. It's been more than 10,000 years. Finally, there's movement again. The excited voice of the Qilin Bull was heard. Flying in the primal chaos was extremely boring. This was their first time flying for more than 10,000 years. One should know that with their strength, they could fly back and forth in a universe for more than 100 times in such a time. But in the primal chaos, there was nothing out of the ordinary for more than 10,000 years. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. However, at this time, his eyes narrowed slightly as he looked to the right ahead. From there, he sensed an incomparably terrifying energy heading in his direction. Boss, something's not right. The Qilin Bull stared ahead and his heart tightened as he growled in a low voice. Yes, something's not right. Wang Xian nodded his head. At this time, their eyes suddenly narrowed. At this time, the position in front of them suddenly turned fiery red. A sea of fire and a wave of fire suddenly surged towards Wang Xian and the rest. It wasn't towards Wang Xian and the rest, but the area of the Sea of Fire and the Wave of Fire was too huge. It was so huge that they couldn't see the end of it, engulfing Wang Xian and the rest. What's going on? Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he saw the horrifying Sea of Fire. The power of the Sea of Fire wasn't very strong, but it was comparable to the attack of a fire attribute creation realm expert. The Sea of Fire surged towards Wang Xian and the rest at a terrifying speed. Boss, the power of the Sea of Fire isn't very strong, Qilin Bull said. No, if it's just this level of power, it would be extinguished very quickly in the primal chaos. It's impossible for it to cover such a terrifying area. We should be at the edge of the Sea of Fire, so the power isn't that strong. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he spoke. An expert at the pinnacle of the universe Lord Realm couldn't survive for long in the primal chaos. Moreover, this Sea of Fire was like a flaming storm wreaking havoc in the primal chaos. It definitely wasn't that simple. Boss, doesn't that mean that there might be powerful treasures in the center of the Sea of Fire? Qilin Bull's eyes lit up. That's possible. The power and range of the Sea of Fire is thousands of times larger than the lightning we encountered. Wang Xian said. Rumble. They stood there and didn't move. At this moment, the edge of the Sea of Fire had engulfed them. A wave of heat surged over, following which they were caught in the Sea of Fire. The flames in the Sea of Fire weren't all fiery red. There were blue and white flames. Especially those white flames, they were exceptionally terrifying. Wang Xian was shrouded in the Sea of Fire, but he wasn't affected. Let's go to the center. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before speaking. He moved and approached the center of the Sea of Fire. He could sense that the power of the flames in the center was much stronger. This Sea of Fire should be a physical body of energy. Qilin Bull guessed as he felt the surrounding flames. The surrounding flames weren't physical. This also meant that the Sea of Fire was emitted by a physical body of energy. Wang Xian nodded his head in agreement. How strong would an existence that could emit such flames be? Chapter 4067. Wang Xian and the rest were in the middle of the Sea of Fire as they flew towards the center. The closer they were to the center, the more horrifying the temperature was. Both Wang Xian and Qilin Bull possessed the fire attribute and had a higher resistance to it. However, before Wang Xian and the rest could get close to the center, a violent roar came from the center. Wang Xian and the rest were taken aback when they heard the roar. Shock was written all over their faces. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the next instant, Wang Xian felt the surrounding flames turning violent and charging towards Wang Xian and the rest. Countless flames, carrying with them a power that was enough to threaten them, charged over. Boss, be careful. Qilin Bull saw this and was shocked as he roared at Wang Xian immediately. Rumble. Wang Xian's expression changed. With a shake of his body, the 9 attributes in his body were all converted to the fire attribute. Similarly, terrifying flames erupted from his entire body. The power of the flames shrouded the area around him. Qilin Bull's single horn emitted a ray of light that enveloped him entirely. He was prepared to take the attack head-on. Without seeing their opponents, they didn't dare to attack recklessly. Rumble. However, in the next second, Wang Xian was shocked. The flames that were charging towards him suddenly stopped and were all directed towards Qilin Bull. Wang Xian was taken aback when he saw this. At the side, Qilin Bull was engulfed in flames. The powerful force of the attack sent Qilin Bull flying. Roar. Qilin Bull let out a low roar as he swept his gaze over Wang Xian. He was also shocked. Boss, why aren't you attacked? Why am I the only one? Qilin Bull shouted loudly. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Just as he finished his sentence, countless flames began to brew around him. Even more terrifying flames were aimed at Qilin Bull. Meanwhile, the flames around Wang Xian had become extremely gentle. Boss, the attack of the flames is too strong. Qilin Bull saw this and his expression changed again as he shouted at Wang Xian. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Why did the Sea of Fire only attack Qilin Bull and not me? Could it be because I have the fire attribute? Wang Xian thought to himself. he looked at Qilanbul and said, "Qilanbul, show me your fire attribute." Fire attribute? Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, Qilanbul's heart skipped a beat. Waves of flame energy were released from its body. The Qilanbul possessed the fire, lightning, and darkness attributes. His 3 attributes were not a perfect fusion. The reason why he could have 3 attributes was because of his physique. His unique physique allowed him to possess abilities of 3 different attributes. It was different from Wang Xian's. Terrifying flames erupted from the Qilanbul's body and rushed towards the surrounding flames. Boom, 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 boom. However, the surrounding flames did not stop their attack because of the Qilanbul's body. They continued to engulf him from all directions. Seeing this, Wang Xian frowned slightly. What was going on? It doesn't work? The Qilanbul couldn't help but let out a low roar when it saw the flames still flying towards it. He hurriedly defended himself. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying collision began. At this moment, Wang Xian could feel the temperature around him rising rapidly. He sensed a terrifying flame energy approaching from the center. His eyes narrowed. The Qilanbul also sensed it and looked at Wang Xian. "Boss, Qilanbul, hide first." Wang Xian waved his arm and wrapped the Qilanbul with a surge of energy. The Qilanbul did not resist and was kept into the mother nest by Wang Xian. The next moment, when the Qilanbul disappeared, the surrounding sea of flames stopped boiling. It gradually regained its calmness. Wang Xian floated in the air quietly and looked to the right. That was the center of the sea of flames. He could sense that a powerful fire-type being was approaching. Wang Xian did not hide immediately. The attack just now was obviously controlled by this flame object. The reason why he was not attacked should be due to some special reason. At this moment, he saw a white spark appearing in his sight. This was a flame that was extremely pure and dazzling. White, a pale white spark. In this world of flames, it was exceptionally dazzling. This white spark was like a real flower and was extremely beautiful. However, it contained a massive amount of flame energy. It seemed to be able to burn everything. Even the surrounding primal chaos space was burned into a domain by it. This white flame flower was only 100 meters in size, but it was extremely dangerous. This flame flower is probably able to burn the heavenly Yuan creation realm. His eyes were filled with caution. Once something bad happened, he would be ready to escape at any time. This flame flower was very, very strong. The white flame flower seemed to have no intelligence as it stopped in front of Wang Xian. It seemed to have sensed that the intruder had disappeared. Subsequently, it continued to fly forward. Wang Xian looked at the flame flower and sized it up carefully while following it from the side. The flame flower treated Wang Xian as though he did not exist and continued to wreak havoc. It bloomed. Wang Xian followed along for a period of time. With a shake of his body, he swayed his huge body and flew towards the back of the flower of flames. After 2 days, he observed the entire domain covered by the flame flower. The entire domain was huge and vast. However, there was nothing substantial in this domain. The only treasure in the entire sea of flames was the white flame flower. This flame flower had no intelligence and was flying aimlessly. It would be awesome if I could tame and use this flame flower. Wang Xian thought to himself. However, this was an object that did not have any intelligence and was emitting unparalleled power. The only way to tame it was to suppress it with great strength. Otherwise, it would be impossible to tame it. Given my current strength, even with the help of the Qilanbul, I can forget about taming it. Moreover, even if I tame it, how can I control it? Wang Xian frowned. He could not handle this white flame flower. It was too horrifying. An object that was born in the chaos was really shocking. I can ask the fairy queen. She should know more. Wang Xian pondered for a moment and took out a communication device. This was the communication device between the few heavenly Yuan creation realm experts. Through this communication device, they could communicate with each other in the chaos as long as they were not too far away. Chapter 4068, Wang Wang. Wang Xian followed the white flame flower and flew beside it. The surroundings were a world of flames. It was extremely terrifying. In the chaos, it formed a special scenery. At this time, his communication device rang. With a single thought, Wang Xian opened it. After reading the content, he narrowed his eyes. Wang Xian told the city queen about his situation. He got a message from the city queen. The flame flower that he was currently following was the elemental god of chaos. The so-called elements were water and fire elements. Elements were also known as the origin. This flame flower was the origin of fire, the fire element. This type of elemental god was one of the more common types in chaos. The weaker elemental gods could be controlled and made into weapons, which was helpful for cultivation. However, the stronger elemental gods were extremely terrifying. They could not be controlled or captured. They would fly in the universe and get close to the universe that contained their own elements. When they found the universe, they would enter the universe and stop. In the end, they would become a blessed land in this universe. A treasure land. The stronger the elemental god, the stronger the treasure land. The Tree of Chaos was not far from the nine-source universe, which would give birth to more elemental gods. 80% of these elemental gods would enter the nine-source universe and form a blessed land in the nine-source universe. Therefore, the appearance of the Tree of Chaos near the nine-source universe was also an opportunity for the nine-source universe. With more blessed lands, there would naturally be more experts. When Wang Xian saw the message from the city queen, he was slightly disappointed. He thought he had found a treasure. He thought he could control this flame flower. If he could control it, it would be a terrifying combat power. However, when Wang Xian saw the following message, his eyes lit up. The city queen had sent him a lot of messages. There were many benefits to being an elemental god. Firstly, cultivators of the same element would not be attacked by the elemental god. There would be great benefits in cultivating there. Secondly, if two elemental gods met, they might collide and attack each other. They would fight to the death. The winner would usually devour the other and form a special substance. This substance could be used as an extremely powerful weapon. The prerequisite was that he had to subdue this weapon. Thirdly, the elemental god could refine powerful treasures of the same attribute. If a treasure absorbed the energy of the elemental god, it could be upgraded. When Wang Xian saw this message, he waved his hand and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. After the 5 elements grindstone appeared, it immediately released a dense flame. 5 divine dragons revolved around it, absorbing the power of the surrounding flames. Waves of boundless flame energy poured into the 5 elements' great grindstone. Seeing this, Wang Xian's eyes lit up. It worked. As the 5 elements grindstone rapidly devoured the energy, it was able to improve itself. If it could devour the entire white flame flower, wouldn't the 5 elements grindstone reach the level of heavenly primordial fortune? Wang Xian murmured. However, he knew that it was impossible for the 5 elements grindstone to devour the white flaming flower. The flame flower was material, it would not allow itself to be devoured by the 5 elements grindstone. In fact, if Wang Xian were to control the 5 elements grindstone to devour it, he would probably suffer its retaliation. Even so, it could still greatly increase the power of the 5 elements grindstone. Wang Xian followed the flower of flames and drifted in the universe. Time passed, and 1,000,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. The 5 elements grindstone continued to absorb the energy of the flower of flames and improved tremendously. It was almost at the level of a mutated divine dragon. However, it was too difficult to evolve it to the level of heavenly primordial fortune. It would be great if this flower of flames could be controlled. Wang Xian lamented again. Over the 1,000,000 years, he had also conducted in-depth research on the flower of flames. However, he realized that he could not control the flower of flames. Unless he could suppress it with a powerful force, it would always be active. Let's go. I can't waste my time here. Let's go to other places. Wang Xian gave up on the flower of flames. With a swift move, he delved deeper into the vast chaos. What followed was another long journey. This time, Wang Xian did not encounter any treasures in the surroundings even after tens of millions of years. There were pitifully few treasures. However, he saw another elemental god. It was incomparably powerful and uncontrollable. Subsequently, he separated from Qilin and was prepared to move alone to increase his chances of finding treasures. 30 million years later, a piece of news from Qilin suddenly reached Wang Xian. Did Qilin discover anything? Wang Xian took out his communication device and read the message. The message from Qilin was that he had encountered a great battle. A great battle between elemental gods. Furthermore, one of the two parties involved in the battle was the white flame flower. Qilin had encountered the flower of flames again. A great battle between elemental gods. The fairy queen had mentioned that a great battle between elemental gods was not common. She had only encountered it 3 to 4 times in such a long time in the chaos. Its rarity was comparable to some chaos beasts in the chaos. After Wang Xian received the news, he immediately flew towards Qilin. A great battle between elemental gods was a drawn-out one. It might last for hundreds of millions of years. When Wang Xian arrived a few years later, an extremely horrifying explosion was heard. A golden radiance and a fiery red radiance collided. It was an attack that could destroy heaven and earth. There was no technique to speak of. All of them were clashes and clashes between attributes. In the surrounding murky chaos, a horrifying field was formed. Boss. Qilin sensed Wang Xian's arrival very quickly. He immediately flew over and shouted. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked ahead. What's the situation now? How long have they been fighting for? Dragon King, I don't know the exact time. Qilin shook his head. I discovered this metal elemental god by accident. I followed it for a while to see if there were any metal treasures inside. In the end, I found that the flower of flames had also arrived. When the two elemental gods collided, a horrifying attack occurred immediately. Qilin answered. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at the great battle ahead. The great battle was extremely intense and the energies began to collide. Flames and metal radiated in all directions. It was a spectacular sight. Chapter 4069. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The dazzling battle was ongoing. The deafening roars covered the sky. At the sight of this, Wang Xian was also in awe. Even I would be killed in a battle of this level. Luckily, these elemental gods have no intelligence. Qilin lamented. The battle between the elements was indeed horrifying. They had no intelligence, but were exceptionally explosive. They had no life and no intelligence. It was purely a battle based on instinct. When two elements battled, the outcome could be both annihilated or one side engulfed. They wouldn't retreat and didn't know fear. If there were no special circumstances, the battle would not end. Wang Xian nodded his head and took a closer look. The battle continued. At the beginning, it was a battle between the flames and the golden radiance. As they fought, the golden radiance and flames dissipated. The area covered by the flames and the golden radiance was shrinking rapidly. As time passed, their respective areas were getting smaller and smaller. Following which, the white flaming flower in the middle of the flames charged forward. The dazzling golden pillar in the middle of the golden radiance also collided with the white flaming flower. The physical collision between the elements. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble. The collision began. The battle began. At this moment, Wang Xian had been watching the battle for more than 10,000 years. They didn't leave. Instead, they were watching this battle to see if they could gain something from it. The battle between the main bodies of the elements was still extremely violent. Collision, a head-on collision. During the collision, sparks and metallic shards splattered in all directions. At this moment, Wang Xian stared at the sparks and metallic shards. His eyes lit up. After the sparks and metallic shards flew out, they gradually returned to their bodies. There was also a small amount that turned into energy and filled the surrounding area. Elemental shards? Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat as he revealed a hesitant look. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The collisions continued, and every time they collided, some fragments would scatter out. The strength of these two elemental gods was terrifying. At the very least, if Wang Xian were to fight with them, he would be the one to die. It could be said that they were comparable to existences at the control level. These shards are huge treasures. Wang Xian felt a little excited. The fragments of two elemental gods were equivalent to the flesh and blood that had fallen from Tian Yuan's body. It was an absolute treasure. One had to know that the Qilin bull was only one of the 4 limbs of the Aga Sky demon god. Let's go take a look and see if we can get those fragments. Wang Xian was burning with passion. His body burst into flames, and he couldn't help but fly inside. He flew to the back of the flame flower and prepared to pass through it. Boom! But this time, when Wang Xian entered the back of the flame flower, something unexpected happened. In front of him, the golden pillar that was fighting with the flower of flames was now charging towards Wang Xian's direction. Rays of golden light shot towards him from all directions. Although the flower of flames collided with it, the golden pillar seemed to have locked onto Wang Xian. He completely ignored the flame flower's attack. There was no such thing as defense in a battle between elements. Therefore, even if the golden pillar didn't resist, the flame flower would still deal a heavy blow to the enemy. What's going on? Wang Xian's expression changed. His body trembled, and he immediately transformed into the body of a metal elemental divine dragon. His entire body was also emitting golden light. But when he transformed into the body of a metal elemental divine dragon, the surrounding flames immediately attacked him. Seeing this, Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. His figure moved, and he directly flew into the distance, away from the range of their battle. When Wang Xian flew away quickly, the two elemental gods continued their battle. Phew! No, I can't enter at all. Once I enter, I'll be attacked. Wang Xian said with his eyebrows tightly knitted. If he didn't enter, he wouldn't be able to obtain the elemental fragments inside. I'll be attacked by the metal elemental god if I enter the fire attribute. If I transform into the metal attribute, I'll be attacked by the flower of flames. If I transform into other attributes, I'll probably be attacked by them together. Wang Xian thought to himself as he pondered. Looking at the ongoing battle, his mind was spinning. No wonder the Sidhe Queen wasn't too surprised when she knew Wang Xian had encountered an elemental god. Although these elemental gods were huge treasures, they couldn't be controlled. What was the use of a treasure that couldn't be controlled? Even if they were engaged in battle and there would be fragments escaping, they wouldn't be able to enter. Even if you were strong enough to suppress two elemental gods. But when you entered, you would also be attacked by the two elemental gods. As for these pure elemental gods, once they were attacked, their bodies wouldn't fall into pieces. Instead, they would melt. This also meant that one couldn't obtain the fragments of the elemental gods artificially. Only the collision between the elemental gods would be a pure collision of energy, without any other energy, bloodline, or physique. Only then would their bodies fall into pieces and not be melted by the energy. Wang Xian thought to himself. After hesitating for a while, he had an idea. Once again, he flew towards the battlefield between the two elemental gods. But this time, he flew towards the center of the two battlefields. His dragon body also began to change. Half of it was an Inferno divine dragon and the other was a metal elemental divine dragon. Moreover, the flames and the metal elemental radiance were constantly intertwining and fusing. On his body and below, there was a special Tai Chi pattern. It was a Tai Chi pattern formed by the two elements, metal and fire. When the two Tai Chi patterns fused together, the metal and fire elements intertwined and transformed. This time, when he entered the battlefield of the two elemental gods again. The two elemental gods paused for a moment before continuing to fight. It was as though they didn't sense Wang Xian's arrival. It wasn't that they didn't sense it. But to the elemental gods who had no intelligence and consciousness but only instincts, Wang Xian was like a bug. I was of the fire element just a moment ago and the metal element the next moment. Under all kinds of circumstances, the elemental gods with instincts would experience a breakdown. After appearing several times, the two elemental gods ignored Wang Xian and continued to fight. Success! Wang Xian's eyes were filled with excitement. Chapter 4070, Fire and Metal Conversion. Wang Xian had not expected him to use such a method to enter the battlefield of the two elemental gods. After entering, his face revealed a fiery expression. Wang Xian reverted to his human form and looked towards the center of the battlefield. His eyes fell on the two elemental fragments as he approached. The surrounding area was filled with the aftermath of the powerful fire and metal element attacks. Fortunately, given Wang Xian's current strength, as long as he was not in the center of the battle, he would be fine. When he approached, he locked his eyes on the two fragments. He moved his palm. Wang wang wang. A dragon claw with fire and metal elements intertwined and grabbed at the two elemental fragments. When the dragon claw grabbed the fragments, Wang Xian was observing the reaction of the two elemental gods. When he saw that they were not paying attention to him, Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He moved his palm and the two elemental fragments flew towards him. He kept them in his pocket. What a huge amount of energy! Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised when he felt the energy of the elemental fragments. The value of these elemental fragments was too high. If experts of the metal and fire elements used them to cultivate, their cultivation would be greatly enhanced. This was the power of the origin of the universe. It was the purest fire and metal elements. The energy contained in the two palm-sized elemental fragments could easily crush a group of pinnacle universe rulers. The fire elemental god and the metal elemental god, although their power had just entered the sky origin creation realm, but they were still dropped from the sky yuan creation realm. A huge treasure. These two elemental fragments can increase the number of pinnacle universe rulers of the metal and fire elements in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian murmured. Because they came from the two elemental gods, they contained the great Tao. Experts in the sovereign realm could directly feel the powerful energy within when they absorbed it. This would make their shackles much smaller, making it very easy for them to break through. Besides, this was not the only use of the elemental fragments. There was another huge use. That was to let the five elements grind absorb them. If the five elements grind could absorb enough elemental fragments, it might be able to break through to the Sky Yuan creation realm. In that case, the Dragon Palace would have another Sky Yuan creation realm expert. Let's see how many elemental fragments I can get. If there are enough, I can upgrade the five elements grindstone. Wang Xian thought to himself as he stared at the battlefield before him. Time passed little by little. The battle continued. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. The two elemental gods kept colliding with each other as the rumbling sounds continued to ring out. However, they did not drop elemental fragments every time. Crash. A few days later, the two elemental gods collided, creating a sound. Subsequently, Wang Xian saw two elemental fragments the size of footballs falling from their bodies and darting to the side. This elemental fragment was many times larger than the one he had just obtained. This made Wang Xian excited and he immediately flew over. This time, he was able to retrieve it very easily. Wang Xian's face was filled with excitement as he felt the terrifying energy from the two elemental fragments. If I can obtain a dozen more of these elemental fragments, the five elements grindstone should be able to unleash the might of a heavenly origin creation artifact. Wang Xian murmured as his face was filled with anticipation. These two elemental gods, be it the blazing flower or the golden pillar, were extremely powerful existences. At the very least, they were stronger than Wang Xian. Even if they could not reach the level of control, they were comparable to the veteran beginner heavenly origin creation artifact. They should be equivalent to two of Wang Xian's. Under such circumstances, as long as he could obtain a dozen more such fragments, the five elements grindstone should be able to achieve a breakthrough. He kept the elemental fragments and stared at them. The battle continued. Time passed quickly year by year. In the next 10,000 years, Wang Xian had obtained 13 elemental fragments of varying sizes. However, he was still a little short of breaking through the 5 elements grindstone. The elemental fragments dropped by these 2 elemental gods are getting lesser and lesser. As the battle continued, the probability of the elemental fragments dropping was getting smaller and smaller. Be it the fire elemental god or the metal elemental god, they were also getting more solid. However, the 5 elements grindstone was still a little short of breaking through. Boom boom boom. The 2 elemental gods were still colliding. As Wang Xian watched, the battle between the 2 elemental gods seemed a little dull. There were not many techniques involved. It was just an instinctive clash. However, the might of the battle did not diminish in the slightest. In the entire chaos space, there was a lot more ferocity. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. There are elemental gods fighting ahead. Looks like the appearance of the Tree of Chaos has indeed added some luster to the surroundings of our 9-source universe. Indeed. In the past, battles between elemental gods were rare in the chaos space. However, there are already 2 of them around here. If we lure these 2 elemental gods into our 9-source universe, we will be able to add 2 more powerful paradises to the sorcerer tribe. Just as Wang Xian was watching the battle from inside, 12 figures were flying over at high speed from a certain location. These 12 figures were of different shapes and sizes. They did not look like humans. Streaks of energy connected the 12 of them. Moreover, they were standing in a fixed position. Each of them looked very weak and had not reached the creation realm of sky origin. However, they could travel through the chaos space with ease. Moreover, their speed was terrifying. These 12 figures were the 12 ancestors of the sorcerer tribe. They were the most unique existences in the 9-source universe. Although they had not reached the creation realm of sky origin, their strength was comparable to that of a control-level creation realm expert. Over there. Soon, the 12 figures arrived in front of the battlefield between the 2 elemental gods. Their eyes were fixed on the battlefield, and their eyes were shining. Big brother, look over there. There is a living creature over there. At this moment, an ancestor of the sorcerer tribe with white pupils noticed the figure of Qilin at the side of the battlefield. Huh! The other 11 ancestors of the sorcerer tribe looked over and squinted their eyes. Big brother, look at the aftermath of the battle between the 2 elemental gods. There is another figure over there. The ancestor of the sorcerer tribe with white pupils suddenly exclaimed. His eyesight was the strongest among the 12 ancestors of the sorcerer tribe. Qilin and Wang Xian had not discovered them, but they had discovered them in advance. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.